PD regulating plan for the Lake Pickett North, and for the rural settlement parcels, PD land use plan. But they'll be coordinating those proposals together. So this is the Lake Pickett North community, and you can see here the development program. We're at the transmittal stage, and they will be asking in the rezoning for a PD conceptual regulating plan. These are the rural settlement parcels. These parcels are retaining their 1 unit per acre flume designation, so they don't need a flume designation. What they need is a rezoning to do a PD in order to accommodate and increase the buffer and so forth. So this is the conceptual regulating plan, and the applicant will go over this in more detail. So the only thing I want to leave you with is the objective of the Lake Pickett flume designation. And this is very important. It only applies in the Lake Pickett study area. It allows for the transition from the rural development to more clustered, higher density development. It requires the protection of environmental lands, natural resources found on site. There are a number of compatibility measures that are required under the policies of the comprehensive plan. Our evaluation is based on consistency with the comprehensive plan. That is the standard by which we evaluate this project. And those standards include, is it compatible? And compatibility is defined in your comprehensive plan under these policies. So finally, as I said, the next steps are the next community meeting at adoption, and finalizing the conceptual regulating plan, finalizing the agreements. And your next opportunity to come before the commissioners at a public hearing will be January 23rd, and most of you have received, if you received the original notice, you'll be receiving, or you have already received the notice. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our applicant team for their quick presentation so we can take your questions. Thank you.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
Please.
I'll write it. I'm going to write it.
Please.
I can write it. I'm not bad at it. I'll have to write it. Let me hear. Let's
For the money.
My God, guys, 124. Let's figure it out. There we go.
Well, good evening. Thanks for coming out. I know you guys have been here. A lot of the fresh faces I've seen, but a lot of the same faces I've seen for quite a while. And so thank you guys for continuing to come out. My name is Sean Fralick. I'm the owner of Sustanee. And mainly tonight, I'm just going to be real brief and talk to you about some of the changes that we've made since the last time we were talking. So, let's skip through this. The site, as Maria was saying, 1,335 acres, all single family, detached homes, no multifamily or commercial. I will correct the commissioner on one thing. We do not have townhomes, but we do have bungalows in the community, which are a little bit more affordable. They're kind of they're like detached townhomes is what they are.
Oh, yeah.
They environmentally designed and managed for small neighborhoods, no gates, and trailheads to the conservation park. So the last time we were here in 2021, I guess it was, we had 2,400 units. We are now down to 1,800, so a reduction of 600 units. Our original density was 2.6, now it's 2.0. We had an increase of about 160% increase in our T2, which is our 2 to the acre transect, which then allowed for a reduction in our T3 as well. Let's see. I'm just going to go through. This is a longer presentation that I'm going to shorten it up for you guys. So in the middle of the community is the 120-acre foundation property, and inside that is about a 25-acre park that is uplands. This is the center of the property that's going to house the foundation, which will also house the Sustanee Education and Environmental Center, which is going to be staffed by the University of Florida and some other affiliates, including a department at UCF and some other departments at other places. We will have all kinds of programming there that will have master gardener programs, we'll have guided tours around the area. There'll be research done at this facility to look at what we can do in the future in order to create more sustainable communities and have an environment where people are able to actually be educated on what's in their backyard. For example, if you wanted to go and plant a butterfly garden at your house, then you could come to this facility, you could drop off your soil sample, they could do samples on it, they could tell you what type of fertilizer to use. Into East Orange County. Right now it's designed to go up Juliota Road and then up to the Seminole County border and traverse to the west over the McCulloch, down McCulloch Road and then tie into UCF. What we've designed is to actually bypass that and have it run through the center of the community, pedestrian, as such, to be able to get access over to UCF and the Research Park area. This is one of the trailheads going into the Sand Hills Park. This is, again, the pedestrian bridge. So a couple things that are a little different here than some, but if they do a good job, that's a lot of times where they stop. And they don't really have anything in place during the construction phase of the community. So then the next part is a lot of people, well, maybe they'll have some management in place during the construction, they'll have personnel out there to manage to see what type of construction activities are used, how they're actually treating the stormwater systems, or is there maintenance and monitoring going on during the construction. And then after that, there'll be post-occupancy flooding problems and drainage problems. A lot of that is because systems aren't well Florida and staff on site that will go and monitor these systems, these weirs, these control structures during flooding events, before flooding events, look at water quality, what's being discharged, what's the amount of solids in it, the turbidity of it. The university has been wanting to do this for about 2 decades, but they haven't found a place that's been able to actually financially be stable enough to get it done. Because when they show up, they've got to have enough money that they can pay the people to stay there. So we've got a financial model that is continual, that has to do with the resale of the homes, and that will enable them to actually have people there for years and years and years. And this process will be open to the general public, and we'll be able to educate people about what's going on in the background of their house, what types of plant material, what types of fertilizer to use or not use, and how much water to use. They can do on real-time water sampling, real-time calculation of how much water is being used in irrigation systems, and adapt the community year after year based on the research that they're doing, not just here, but also at the university. So,
Perfect.
try to do it quick. How long? Okay, good.
Long enough. You've heard it enough. Go back to Sarasota. Loser.
Okay, we're at the question and answer session of the meeting tonight. If you have the agenda we passed out, make sure you read those ground rules. We have a lot of people here. I'm sure most of you want to provide comment or ask questions. So we do ask that if you line up to speak, you keep your comments to 15 seconds. And then we'll give the applicant or staff, whichever is appropriate, the amount of time they need to answer your question. If you want to, it's just one first come, first serve, but the line starts right here. Now let me tell you one thing else. The mic that I'm speaking out of right now is going to be given to the applicant to answer your questions or staff. The other microphone that we have for questions is from this microphone. So it's not as loud, so if you're in the back, you may want to come up a little longer. But here's the trick about this. If you're asking a question, you have to hold the mic like I'm holding it to me right now. It can't be down here. It's got to be right here. So, with that said,
build any structure to control all that population. They put a structure behind us, and they didn't do. And also, one more thing, I don't have a question, I'm going to make a statement. These meetings are set up during the day. Guess what? I have a job. I got to pay the taxes.
That's why they're set up there today.
I got to pay my bills. I don't understand how I have the freedom to speak, to let you know how I feel about all this. I moved back here. Now I live across the street on 50. The traffic has.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Kelly Sembrad. First of all, if we could just do a show of hands before we all leave the room. Who opposes the development? Please raise your hands.
All of us.
Who is in favor of the development? Please raise your hands. This development, we already know, has a wicked taxpayer implication. The GROW is coming at us with about $350 million that the developer doesn't all pick up. We're paying that bill. I don't want to pay taxes for a developer to get rich while destroying the rural community that I bought into, that the county said they would protect. This is an ecological, quality of life, traffic disaster. We know that Orange County has a $20 billion with a B deficit to fix our roads. $20 billion. Why are you building roads in the rural area? We don't need them out here. You got to fix the roads in the urban area. This is the wrong development in the wrong location. It has no business in East.
Thank you, Kelly. Next up.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Debbie Parrish. I live across from the development. I'm the president of the Lake Pickett Community Organization. This is not our first rodeo, and in fact, it's been a 20-year battle. The plans have improved, but not enough, and it does not fit where they're wanting to put it. Yes, we have road issues, and I think those of us that are in the room would rather fight the road issues every day than have more housing adding to it and not enough improvement. We are very concerned, and we talked about this, Sean, the drainage that will come from the property. We all have drainage issues if you live around the property. We live on a lake that is a pristine body of waterway that qualified as an outstanding Florida water. We just didn't have enough muscle to get that through. And we know that groundwater seepage will go to the lake. Up to 30% is allowed to leave a development, according to St. John's River Management. And we also know that water will flow into the surrounding neighborhoods around it. And there's no solution that I've heard in all these years that we have had this. And while the plans get better, they're not good enough. We live on acreage properties all around it. I want to see something conform. Ranchettes. We can talk about that. We can talk about what that looks like. Yes, I'm a real estate agent for 32 years in the area, and I can tell you some of the ranchette properties I sell do not have paved roads. That will make it cheaper, less expensive to develop if we do dirt roads or gravel roads. There are solutions to the housing issues, and that's a whole other board that I'm happy to get involved in and help. But there are solutions. We have fought this for so long. Some of us in this room from the beginning, and we're getting older and tired, but we're not giving up. Amen. So I thank all of you for coming. I thank Orange County staff. Y'all have put a lot of work in it. Sean, I know you have too. But there are improvements to be made. We're trying to fast track it. This is not a good thing. We need to wait, and we need to pound it out until something is acceptable. And there is something acceptable out there. We all have to compromise in life. And a ranchette is a solution.
First, guide. I advise you to change that to it lets you be the guide after you destroy it, right? So I asked this question last time to the gentleman over there against the wall, and he couldn't really answer, and he was almost about to throw up all over his feet. So I want to ask this one to you. What is the benefit for us being out here, for people that have lived here for years, generations, and decades? What's the benefit besides lining your pockets?
Jessup, thanks for the question. I mean, the benefit really involves having a place to go to with your children, to be able to learn about the environments in the backyard. Having the ability to have safe sidewalks and walking trails, having bike trails. So, these are the benefits that you asked the question, I've answered your question.
And butterflies.
So.
You can't answer that question. You don't know.
Orlando Wetlands Park Road already exists.
Folks, if you're not, listen, I know you're very passionate about the project, but please allow the applicant to respond. I mean, if you're going to ask the question, give him the opportunity to respond.
Give us a valid response, answer it honestly. My backyard is where my kids can go.
Yeah, all right, you're right, that's right. We teach the kids.
Volks Reserve. I represent Florida Freedom Family. We have 5 other families that live in this exact area. We are all against that 10-acre ranches or 10 acres with barn dominiums being sold. That is what the people actually want around here. I don't even go to Tallahassee and tell the politicians what it is that I actually think, because I don't want them to turn around and kiss my ass and then not do something that I don't want them to do. I'm here telling you exactly what the people here want. My family is shopping for 10 acres and we have already found someone to build a barn dominium. We can't find the 10 acres because someone goes and comes in with a cash offer right behind us, and then we can't buy it. Sell that. Sell 10 acres with barn dominiums. You'll get the rural people that these people would prefer to have as neighbors, and I will find 10 families that will move in within 3 months. That's what we want.
Hi, my name is Rachel. I live right on Chuliota as well. And even though I'm thrilled to be here again, and I do appreciate the county giving us the time at a convenient hour for the people that live out here to actually speak, Sustanee and the plans to rezone in this current state are a death sentence to the ecosystem in the community out here. I'm not opposed to new homes development, but going from 0 to 2,300, including the Grove, along with retail and schools, is irreversibly devastating. There's no coming back from that. If you think the ecosystem and the community and all the natural resources won't be negatively impacted to the point of no return, you're freaking crazy. I don't care how many students, environmental scientists you have on your board, it's not going to be good. Why can't we just start small, seconding what Debbie and other people have said? We can rezone this to rural county estate, 1 house per 5 acres, 1 house per 2 acres, and it would be great. I would not be opposed to that. There's so many implications to this. With small roads, if there's a hurricane, how do you expect this many people to evacuate with just 2-lane roads all around? It's not going to happen. There's news stories in Arizona where people are dying by fires because they can't evacuate their rural community due to people like you coming in, building thousands of homes with no infrastructure to support it. There's not enough grocery stores to support us to get our food, our supplies when hurricanes come. What are you going to do? The more I think about your plans, the more my blood boils. I am freaking shaking right now because the hypocrisy in every one of you is so apparent. You say you want to sustain nature while absolutely leveling it. You want to do what's best for the community while ignoring our pleas and valid concerns. You've never had a solution or an actionable response to anything we say, and you repeat the same planning process in every fight every few years. The decisions you pass to this person in the current state will take this community and my dream away from so many families and others that work hard to actually sustain it. I really hope you reconsider your vote and try to enjoy the beauty out here while it lasts before you kill it.
Amen.
And next time you show up, you get 15 seconds, not that 45 minutes you droned on about how wonderful it all is.
You have a chance.
Oh, hush up.
I hope you were talking to him and not me. My name's Mike Sombeck. I live down the road.
Please.
I've lived on Corner Lake for the past 20 years or so, and I have a little more of a broad question, more for the county folks. Years ago, the zoning changes that occurred out here prior to Ms. Bonilla's time on the board were to change this, a lot of the acreage out here to Lake Pickett study area. I'm a physician. When I hear the word study, I expect to see a design, an implementation of a study, and a result in the Lake study area.
So I'll answer the question. The Lake Pickett study area was created to policies that address potential development in the lake study area, the study area that was created. That happened a few years ago. Maria went through those policies, but the study was only to consider and adopt, which the board did at that time, the standards for development to be considered if they were to come in, and that's what the applicants do. And so they demonstrated to the county through their application how they meet those policies that were initially adopted into the comp plan through that study process. So if the study is only was what took place to create the boundary, to create the criteria for developments to propose development to demonstrate they meet, which the applicant is provided to the county, and that's what the board is considering. Do they meet the criteria that was established when the study area policies were adopted?
The study area policies, were they ever studied to see if they were applicable to this area?
Sure, the study area actually.
The study is very different than mine.
The study area boundary that was adopted by the board was actually changed and revised throughout the months leading up to the final adoption. So the policies were adopted with the policies. So the question is, does the applicant meet the criteria that was adopted by the board back when that happened?
That's not a study. It's not a study.
And please state your name and where you live. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Diana. I live in Bonneville, and I'll just make this brief. They built about 5 apartment complexes around the 408 and Highway 50 in the last year or two. And they supposedly, exactly, for UCF, but they're part of the problem, as far as I'm concerned. I think they got something for students, but if you've got, you got doctors, you got grocery stores and stuff like that, why aren't they part of the solution? But, that's my deal. I lived there almost all my life, but, I mean, I'm putting up with the high density population. I'm putting up with the traffic as far as I go, because I don't want that big development. I really don't need it. I just don't. Now, Seminole County keeps building because guess where they're going? They're coming over to UCF in Orlando, but they don't have to care about the roadways. But that's just my opinion. Okay, that's all.
Thank you so much. Thanks up.
My name is Eugene Staccato. I live in the Milk District downtown. I'm one of the representatives that the Commissioner has on the Charter Review Commission. What we're doing on the Charter Review Commission is a number of things, one of which is the Rural Boundary Protection Zone. We are very close to a final vote in the committee, moving it to the full commission of the Charter Review Commission. We are inspired by what Seminole County has done in protection of the
Let him use that one.
Hello? Can you hear me now? Okay. Do I need to repeat or what? Okay, so what we've done is we've done studies. One of the speakers was Lee Constantine, Commissioner, and he spoke highly about what they have done back since 2004, which they implemented a very strong land use layer over their rural areas, which has proven to be very protective. We are implementing the same type of language in our charter language, which we hopefully will be coming to a vote in the next 2 weeks on the 17th in the admin building. So with that in mind, they have told us they would save billions of dollars in Seminole County because of densification in the urban area while leaving the rural districts alone. And that's the same thing that we hope to achieve in Orange County if this is passed by you, the citizens, next November. And this development is not helping the situation. We are trying to, Vision 2050, to the credit of the planning and the county, is a very good step forward. So things like this one development is just a mess up in the whole formula, and we need not be doing this type of stuff anymore. We know it doesn't pay for itself. Commissioners from other counties have come and publicly spoken to our commission and the charter about what they have found in their counties. And I don't think it's going to be different in our county when we implement this. by the will of people if we get it out of our charter, which I think it will get out of our. Thank you.
You know, I understand the bottom. I haven't lived in Orange County since 1969 when I had hair. I'm an airport SAT trained killer. I lived in Warford Lake for 25. I've seen this kind of change ad nauseum. With my understanding, there would be no development east of the econ. I see that's a bunch of baloney. Giving credit to this presentation, I think it was nice. It had all kinds of environmental stuff and all this other stuff. Frankly, that's not address the transportation needs at all. The road is still the same that they've been for the last 50 years. So 3,000-4,000 vehicles on 50, like Pickett, Julia Road. That's insane. That is insane. And you people are called designers, developers, architects?
Nope.
I think you're a public license.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is on this proposed property. I have lots of concerns and I know there's a time limit and I appreciate you all being here. One important thing is we have another chance besides tonight. January 23rd is the Board of County Commissioners. Every single commissioner, not or no. Yes, they say we have more meetings, but the BCC this time around is really important. My thoughts about this development is I'm scared because I don't think it's viable. One is they have presented multiple times about this foundation. But what they're saying about the foundation, and it's changed different times, is that the homeowner, that's supposed to be 5 generations, when you sell your home, they take a chunk of that change back. Not like, just like a real estate commission, but they take additional off that. It's in their deed restrictions. I have not found another community that has these kind of deed restrictions. I guess they're out there. But that's one negative. I don't think it's viable. Right now, people call my husband, they want 5 acres in the country, 10 acres in the country, or they want 55 and older, or a big draw is affordable housing. And that's not even close to. I don't know what the current average price is. Last year it ranged on what the range was because, of course, building supplies change. We understand that. If it's going to be a viable community, it's a bedroom community. There's nothing else to do there. You go there and sleep. Yes, they say it's close to jobs, so there's going to be more trips. Because I verified today, when they figure out the transportation numbers, they only look at peak hours. So say 1,500 trips. Okay, when you do the math, for 1,789 dwellings or houses, times 2.9, which is the average Census Bureau for some residents, which we know now is higher because kids are coming back. Grandparents are moving in. So you think about number of cars and number of trips. We really have to think about, is this a viable community and is this the right place? I say no.
Yeah.
Just one point of clarification, and Pamela touched on this. The reason the January 23rd date is so important is because if the board were to not transmit the application, all of those other public hearings and community meetings for this project would not occur. So that's the importance of the January 23rd. Unlike a regular rezoning or other types of comprehensive plan amendments, projects of this nature have to get past the board for transmittal. If the board chooses to not transmit, the application is over.
Yeah, so why is that 2 p.m. on Tuesday?
Yes, good evening. Marge Holtz. I'm with the Sierra Club Central Florida Group. And I have been at this property and surrounding area. It's a Paul County would approve an overlay and say it is consistent with the comprehensive plan. The urban service boundary wasn't moved. This is high density, high intensity development in rural service area. It has the potential to drive other abutting land uses. We're seeing this type of overlay down in the Florida Everglades, so it's a trend, and it's not getting any better. So could we think that this property could go of impact is very significant? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cindy Giesler, and I live on Lake Price. I have 2 homes there that I built in Calgary. Now, what this builder does not address and doesn't seem to be being addressed by the commissioner or anyone else is the impact of the traffic on Lake Price. I can no longer cross my street safely because of the multiple cars going by. I had to move my father because he got hit by a car. So that's how bad traffic has become on Lake Price. And your development does not address my street and how I get. I work, and so does my husband, and we're constantly stuck in traffic between the UCF students and 50 because the cut through is Lake Price. That is the short shopping center. And I'm holding my commissioner accountable for how she votes. You saw how the people in this room feel, so I expect your vote to align with the people who voted you into office. Thank you.
Yeah.
My name's Arne Eastlick. I'm her husband. I grew up here. This is a rural area, so I'm going to use a rural example. I grew up on a farm, and my father used to tell me when we're out in pasture, watch where you're walking, because there could be something out there. You can call it cow patties, you can call it manure, or whatever you call it, it's still bullshit. Okay? We're in that same position now. Just east of us is another planned project when the world was a different world. Rocket City. Okay? It was going to have a golf course, it was going to have all kinds of amenities, it was a planned development. And now it's a failure in most parts. It's empty in many places. The roads are not maintained. Why? Because life gets in the way of planning. And this man may have really great plans, whether you call it Sustanee or the Grove or Utopia, they're all about the same because life happens. And I have no faith that all of these plans, these grand visions that you have, will come to fruition. Why? Because life gets in the way. This is supposed to be a rural area. That was what the agreement was, no building east of the econ. But we throw it away. Build it and they will come. That's the problem, because they'll come. But we don't have the roads for it. We don't have the infrastructure for it. We don't have the law enforcement for it. We don't have the schools for it. Are you going to put all that in? Is it going to be out of your pocket? No, it'll be out of my pocket and out of their pocket. I feel bad for you, because you know what? You're ignorant of history. And what has come before will come again. And I wish you the best, but this is not right for us.
Yeah.
Good evening, my name is Michelle, and I live right over here at Grand Preserve Cypress Lakes. I am a teacher in East Orlando, and my question for you, sir, is how do you propose that your K school is going to benefit the rest of the children in this area? You're going to take away our resources from Columbia, Bonneville, East Lake Elementary School. Is your school only going to be reserved for your community? And if so, then what about the teachers and the funding and everything like that we are already so desperately needing? How are they going to benefit the other kids in this area? Could you help me with that?
Butterflies.
Can I ask a qualifying question? So are you referring to 3A school that that's an Orange County public school? They have just basically said, we want a school site. So we're giving them a school site. I do not know what their timing is and when that's being built. In other communities where we've donated school sites, sometimes it's 5 years, sometimes it's 10 years. I really don't know. They dictate what goes there, what it looks like, how it's staffed, and the money for it. I just give them 25 acres.
Could I ask one follow-up question?
Sure.
Then? Do you think that a lot of the snowbirds are going to have children that are going to go to that school site?
This is a plan from Orange County Schools based on their looking at forward-looking numbers on the growth patterns of Orange County, and this is something that they've requested from us, and this goes back almost 10 years. So I don't get into their numbers. It was just it's a part of the policy that's required of us to do. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole and I live in Toyota, and I just want to show everybody, I'm quite nervous to speak. I've actually never been to one of these meetings before, I've never spoken before, but I just want to show everybody and show you guys that there is a younger community. I am a student at Seminole State. So I just want to show everybody that there is a younger community who really does care, and unfortunately when all the older people pass, I'll be here to fight just like everybody else. I'll be here all the way and talking to you or whoever else. And I asked, your answer was a place for people to go to test their soil and this and that. No. Go to Lake Mills, go to the wetlands park, leave it as it is, and if you're really trying to get some money in your pocket, build a nature trail or like a community pool. So that's it.
I've been a resident in Orange County since 1942. We have been a resident of Christmas since 1950. I served on a task force put together by Linda Chapin. That task force brought the sewer and water line to East Orange County. Why? Because we didn't have a drugstore, we didn't have a restaurant, and this school didn't have sewer. It had 2 tanks sitting out here, and they had to pump every weekend. It cost the school system a fortune. So we was asked to put together what we wanted in East Orange County. It was a total of 12 people. There was 2 from Christmas, the rest of them was from Buffalo. We agreed for sewer and water to run to East Orange County for the commercial property that would be at Highway 50 and Toyota Road, and to the 3 schools, and to the 6 PDs that was already approved for East Orange County. In 2013, passed a law to not use traffic as a deterrent. So, traffic will be a mess, but we cannot use it to stop this. The only chance that I see that we had until Tuesday was keep the sewer and water line at the capacity it was at. And make them put all the residents on Pickett North and Pickett South on septic tanks where they could use them. But if I understand correctly, Tuesday they approved water further to East Orange County. Is that correct? Anybody want to answer me?
Stand up.
No, you wasn't there.
They don't even know what's going on.
Didn't y'all approve to run a water line to Buffalo?
Yeah, get them off the septic, right?
Are you saying Channel 9's not telling the truth? Because it was on Channel 9 Tuesday night at residents in Buffalo was getting water. Now, I know you wasn't there. I know you wasn't there because I was there Tuesday morning. So, was it or was it not approved to run the water lines to the residents of Buffalo?
Let me ask my sources.
I've been asking for a mic so I can respond to you. No one has given me a mic. Sorry, I have to take yours away.
Hi, Emily.
Hi. As far as I know, since I've been looking at the comp plan since 2010, Bithville has been an allowed location for the water and sewage. I don't know when that had happened, but it's in the policy since I've been looking at it since 2010. So Bithville, yes, I did fight to get some water to Bithville because they need clean water. And under our policy, they are allowed to get clean water. And the traffic, what you mentioned, and I mentioned it in the beginning, we can make a decision based on traffic. So it's House Bill, what they call it, 7207, I believe it is. And that does not refer to comp plan amendments, which this is. So we can make a decision based on traffic for comp plan amendments.
Well, since we could not use traffic,
Could use traffic.
I have to look coming out of my ranch every day to keep me getting run over. And in 1960, on Sunday morning, the Tanner family would cross the street over here, and that's the only car I've seen all day until they come back. But it boils down to the sewer and water. If we can hold the amount of sewer and water that can come out of this department and out of the other, we can hold how many houses per acre they can build. That's the only chance that the people in Christmas and people in Buffalo's got to hold the traffic down, because we can't use traffic study no more. It's got to be up to staff and up to the commissioners to say that sewer and water line will only be for this many houses. That's what was done back when the Jacob was chairman. So that's the question that I'm asking, how do we stop it? Because we got to have growth. The fire department's got to have a raise every year. The sheriff department's got to have a raise every year. And my wife is retired in the county, and she was guaranteed a 3% raise every year. So how do we propel the number of residents that could be on these two places?
So you was intended for a certain amount of uses, which included the rural settlements and Bithlo. Now in 2016, when the previous commissioner was sitting there, Ted Edwards, he made a decision, him and the majority of the board, to vote for the Lake Pickett policy study policies. In that policy, it made the allowance for any development in the Lake Pickett study to be able to also have access to that pipe for sewage and water. So with the GROW and their approved developments, it was intended.
Now, unless I was lied to, they enlarged the sewer and water line up to the econ. They changed, turned, and went down the old road into where the new subdivision is, but it did not cross over the econ.
So that's the pipe that they're expanding, the one that's crossing the econ. And anyone from utilities can probably answer that way better than I can, regardless of engineering details.
The extension of the water and sewer to serve the GROW, which is the Lake Pickett South area, has already been approved. So the necessary accommodations to those lines, whether it means retrofitting existing size pipes, or just to the extension to the project, that's already been approved for the GROW. Now, those approvals don't extend into Sustanee, and that's part of their application. And so, obviously, if this project were not to be moved forward, then the pipes would be extended through the GROW, and they would stop there. But the board would always have the opportunity at a later date, maybe not this board, but a future board, to do that at another day, just like anybody else. We have a comp plan policy, which is our Bible when it comes to growth management, but there's always opportunity to explore that and to update it, just like we're doing in Vision 2050. We're not proposing anything in Vision 2050 that encourages the proliferation of urban sprawl or anything else that supports that through urban services. But the board has already made an allocation for the potential of development within the Lake Pickett study area. And that's why we're here tonight. The GROW's done, those services will already be provided for that project. They're being installed, as the commissioner indicated earlier. But they won't go any further unless the board approves Sustanee. Next one.
Laura is there.
Do you need me for anything?
Do you want to correct anything I said?
No, the only thing I wanted to explain was that the utilities are already across the econ. They're not being upsized across the econ. It's after that to serve the GROW and Sustanee approved.
But it's at the river. Who paid for it?
Right, well, no, it's a fee, but yes. Who paid for it? Oh, gosh. The new improvements that have to be done will be paid for by the developer. The pipe that went across the pond was done way before I was in the county, so unfortunately I don't know what project that was part of. And I know the Bicklow project, Bobby, you were talking about, I think there was a grant funding to address water quality issues.
ARPA.
No, not that one.
Those PDs ain't never been developed.
The one you were talking about that just got approved.
ARPA.
Yeah, there was a grant funding to address water quality issues. So that's why that pipe was getting extended, as part of our CIP program with the ARPA grant funding.
Well, I know, and you know, we can't stop growth in Orange County. Ain't no way you're gonna stop it. It boils down. What it boils down to is what we have to put up with. Now, I lived in Pine Hills. I grew up in Pine Hills. I owned a house on the corner of Jennings and Powers Drive. I left there. My parents owned a ranch in Christmas. I moved to Christmas. Why? Because I don't have no neighbors. My neighbor's Channel 9 TV tower 1,300 feet high. So it boils down to these people have a right to enjoy their life and enjoy what you have. Stop development, we cannot do. I know that.
Thank you, Bobby. Okay, we're a little over time. We've got 3 more people online. We're going to hear them out, and then we'll adjourn and let the applicant or the commission make any closing statements. But thank you all for your patience. You've been very well behaved. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm Glenn. I live in Bertha, Bonneville area. And just have a quick question, because traffic is already here. We all know what 50 looks like. This is going to be approved in some form or fashion. Hopefully lower. We can keep fighting and lower the density. In places like Wedgefield or Desiree Ranch are going to be someday developed hopefully in the far future. I know plans are in the works for that. My question is, the 408 study and expansion of 408 along 50, how is that, where is that at?
State was supposed to take that over.
They won't make enough money to make it work. So that's why they're not extending the expressway. So the most we're going to get is 50, widening those roads to 3 lanes each way.
Hi, I'm Angie Gallo. I'm actually the school board member for District 1. I'm also a resident of East Orange. I live around the corner. My kids actually attend school here. I just came up to answer the question about schools that were asked. So in East Orange County, which is my county, my district, there are no plans to build a school in our 10-year SIP plan, which is our capital improvement plan. So right now, even though we're given land by the developer, there are no plans to build a school on that property at this point. Thank you.
Last but not least,
my name is Mark Bernhardt, and I live on Lake Pickett Road. I've lived there now for 25 years. And I can tell you that my wife Connie and I, we saw the future yesterday, and it's not pretty. We went from our house after 25 years ago, take us about a minute and a half, maybe get out the driveway. Took us about 12 minutes yesterday, and that's risking our life, and Connie putting our new car in turbo so we don't get run over. Then we get on Highway 50, get on 408. It took us 1 hour and 28 minutes to get from our house to the exit on Cimarron Boulevard, Highway 436. And we're sitting in that traffic. Thankfully, we weren't low on gas, and I didn't have to pee or anything like that. 77 years old. And I had to call the doctor twice, afraid they were going to cancel my very important appointment. But I'm looking at this, and the cars behind me in my rear view mirror, stretching all the way back and all the way ahead to downtown. Anybody that thinks we don't have an infrastructure problem, you're just not paying attention to what's going on here. Now, this Sustanee thing, this grow project, these monster mega communities, they're going to drop these cancers in the midst of our current community, and they're going to suffocate us. They're going to kill us here. I'm telling you, I saw it yesterday, and I'm sitting there in the car, and I said, oh, Lord, save us, thinking towards tonight to this meeting, and I'm sure glad to see all of you are here, and I sure hope we can defeat this terrible, terrible thing.
Okay, folks, so that concludes the question and answer portion of our meeting. Thank you again. Just real quick, my name is Bonilla. I didn't introduce myself. I'm the assistant manager of the planning division. I'm here with Alberto Vargas, our manager, Maria Cahill, you met earlier, and then Jason Sorensen. There are many other Orange County staff here, and they'll be lingering around for the next few minutes as we break down. If you have any questions related to utilities, Laura was up here earlier, Laura and other people from transportation, feel free to hit us up. But for closing remarks, I'm going to hand it over to Commissioner Bonilla, and thank you again for coming.
Yeah, before you walk out that door, it's very important that you show up on January 23rd, 2 p.m. at the Board of County Commissioners meeting. If you have any vacation time left over at work, this is the day to take that time. It's really important that you show up. And also, I do want to mention, I know it's been said, that this land will be developed, blah, blah, blah. Well, we do have funding at the county to buy lands that are environmentally sensitive. And these are some of those environmentally sensitive lands. And a letter from the county has been sent to the landowners of this property of an interest to purchase. We received no response as of yet, though, that I know of. But just to show you that we do have funding for environmentally sensitive lands. And so we've purchased lots in East Orange County that I'm very proud of. And hope to see you more. Thank you. January 23rd, take the day off of work, be there, bring some snacks for yourself.